Thank you for watching. My name is David. I'm a life coach. I help people heal from trauma. This is a weekly question and answer video I do every single Monday. So if you have questions, please go down below into the description box. Ask anything you want, and I'm going to answer it next Monday in the next Q&A video. I'm answering people's questions from last Monday today. So this is part 2. Please go back and watch part 1 if you haven't watched it already. And if you guys think that I'm helping you and I can possibly help somebody else, if this information can help somebody else, benefit other people, can you please help me? Can you please subscribe to my channel? Vote on this video. Go down below and comment. Say hi. Tell us where you're from. Maybe put this in a playlist and suggest it to someone else. That'd really, really help me. I'm just trying to make this kind of information available for people who are suffering. There's so many people, there's millions of people suffering from this throughout the world. And if they just get some of this information from somewhere, it'll help them into the direction they need to stop, to get the help they need, because this is causing people to commit suicide all over the world. So please help me if you can. Push a couple buttons. I'd really, really appreciate you. Thank you. So I guess we'll just dive in with the next question for part 2. And all I ask is that you guys give us your locations. Please tell us where you're from. Anywhere in the world, it can be general, okay? So next question is from Alberta, Canada. Hi. Frolicking is your name, Elf. I lived out of my car during my last year of university, during the latter part of my parents' divorce. They said my whole life they'd help with school and then just didn't. I preferred the car. You said you preferred the car and help from my friends to my parents' emotional and financial abuse. 6 years later, got my own apartment, great job, and a healthy life of no contact. You can do it. And thanks for just, I love these encouraging words. We need to hear this. People need to hear this. People watching this, you have no idea, guys, that some of the horrible situations that people might be in that are watching this video. And for people down there to give some kind of hope is so great. So thank you very much for that. And this is such a huge problem. This is such a huge problem. And you know, anybody finding themselves in their adult life in abusive relationships, it's coming from your childhood, okay? And it might be really hard to see that. But I can't tell you how many parents I see that are so controlling and nasty and exploitative and abusive and just traumatize their children and don't let them have any kind of autonomy, and they follow them around wherever they go and harass them and make demands and threaten them. And it's just disgusting that you would take a child and not do everything you can to give them all the chances they need to survive and make it in the world. Instead, you sabotage them for your own personal needs. It's just sick. I just can't even imagine that anyone would do that to a child, and your own child. Sabotage them for years. And even when they're adults, just keep doing it. Keep sabotaging their life. I've seen some horrific parenting. Horrific. And I have clients that are in their 20s, you know, dealing with this stuff and can't get away. They feel like they don't know how to get away from the oppression that their parents are causing them. It's just horrible. It's awful. Life is so hard. Life is so, so hard. To think that you actually have such opportunity to help your child survive and be successful in the world, and you don't care. You don't want any of that. It's just... Yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent because I think lately I've just seen so much awful parenting lately. It's really sad. Really, really sad. I'm glad that you got away from them, that you don't feel this debt to them. It sounds like you divorced your parents, and I love that idea, divorcing your parents. And no matter how much work it was, no matter how hard it was, you did it. You lived in your car. You took help from your friends. And now you're on your own. You got your own place and you feel good and job and all that. That's just great. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope you keep working on this stuff. I hope you keep healing from your past with your family, you know, and I hope you keep just bettering yourself all the time. That's just wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you. And the next thing someone says is from Willa. Willa's a great contributor to this channel. Hi, Willa. Willa's just commenting on something that Kay from New York was saying last week. And I just wanted to read it. It's really nice. Kay from New York, you definitely made the right decision. The therapist I went to, all he did was listen. He never gave advice or helped me start things out. Or, I'm sorry, he didn't help me sort things out mentally. He just listened. This went on for years. I'm watching some videos on YouTube about the power of walking away. There is a power in walking away. So glad you took your power back. If your former therapist was doing more harm than good, it's best to cut ties. This therapist doesn't have what it takes to be a healing therapist. That therapist will never give you closure. That was the best decision you ever made in walking away. Thanks, Willa. Love supportive people and being supportive to other people in these videos. But it's just real important, and I want to bring this up all the time. I suggest people get professional help all the time, and it's just so important. And it's also really important when we finally do get professional help that it's advantageous, that it benefits us. And a therapist, you know, you guys, if you've had therapy for years, that's kind of just be real careful that this person's helping you. We don't, you know, therapists are to provide a service. They aren't personal. They aren't our friend. They aren't our mom or dad, our boss. You know, they're providing a service, and they can do a real disservice if they aren't helping you. Like Willa's just sitting there, just listening, not challenging Willa, not offering solutions to problems, and really get down to what the problems are, so we can find solutions. You know, I think of it as, yeah, maybe a therapist is helping you about this much, you know, but if another therapist can help you this much, then this one's doing you a disservice. Period. And if you're not getting better, find another therapist, okay? And if you're finding yourself constantly getting into abusive relationships while you have a therapist, they're not helping you. They're definitely not helping you, are they? Okay? Thanks, Willa, for saying that. Thank you. And next is David from Pennsylvania. Hello, David. Oh my gosh, what an honor. I meant every word of it. Subscriber from Pennsylvania here. Lived in Key West for 9 years. 5 months out of a 4-year marriage to a diagnosed BPD. Just found out yesterday she announced on her Facebook she got a new man. She got a new victim. Real men don't date borderlines, right? We need to heal ourselves, become a real man, and not marry people with personality disorders. And she has a new victim. I'm glad you're not her victim anymore. Awesome. I'm surprisingly not hurt by it. That's good. Doesn't feel bad. You're healing. Been no contact, but others keep telling me what she's doing. You don't need that, right? So ask people to stop. I know it's tough. You just explain to them, you know, how you feel. I don't like it. Don't need to, you know, I don't need to know what somebody over in Beijing, China is doing either. You know what I mean? They're not my life anymore. So, I've been watching more of your Narc videos as it sounds so much more like how she really treated me. Is it possible she is BPD and NPD? Well, I guess anything's possible, okay? And you might hear some mixed answers from therapists about this. And I'm not a therapist. I'm going to tell you what I've learned, what other therapists have told me. Really good therapists, okay? When it comes to personality disorders, specifically, therapists tend to go with what you have more traits of, all right? So try to know that the traits, diagnostic traits in personality disorders, there's tons of overlap, okay? So let's say she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So let's say she has borderline personality disorder. She's going to have several traits, or tons of traits of all kinds of different personality disorders. She's more, let's say, on that spectrum than you or I. Once you cross on that line and you have a personality disorder, you're going to have many traits of different personality disorders overlapping. And so therapists traditionally doesn't want to give you 2 personality disorders. They're going to say, okay, you're really high in borderline. Yes, you have narcissistic traits, but you have more borderline. So we're going to give you that borderline personality disorder. And you also are high in narcissism. You have sociopathic traits. You're high, you know, stuff like that. So maybe whoever diagnosed her is wrong. Maybe she really does have narcissistic personality disorder, and the therapist misdiagnosed her. Just to throw that out there. Okay? But just know that when someone's diagnosed with one personality disorder, they're more inclined to have other traits of other disorders. Very, very common. Extremely common. You're going to have a borderline, right, that also lacks empathy. And that's a narcissistic personality trait. So here's the borderline that also lacks empathy. Okay, and over here, antisocial personality disorder. Let's say this borderline, your ex also solves things with violence and attacks people. That's an antisocial trait. So she's got 7 or 8 out of 9 borderline narcissistic borderline personality traits. She's got 3 or 4, maybe even 5, which it takes to diagnose someone with the disorder. Maybe she's got 4 or even 5 narcissistic personality disorder traits. And she's got 2 sociopathic traits, or antisocial personality traits. And I bet you she'd have maybe 3 histrionic personality disorder traits. But she's got the 7 or 8 out of 9, and so that's what she is. But, like I said, maybe she was misdiagnosed. Borderlines are misdiagnosed all the time. All the time. All the time. Hope that helps. Hope that answers your question, David. And I'm glad it doesn't hurt anymore. That's wonderful. That you don't care that she's with somebody else. That's a good sign, isn't it? Good feeling. And David, you have another statement here. Another question. David from Pennsylvania. I've been sharing some of your videos on my Facebook, but I worry. By me doing that, does it end up being more supply and attention for her? Am I wrong? No wrong or right, David. You want to do that? It's up to you. How does it feel to you personally? Not her. Stop trying to wonder how it feels to her, what she thinks, or what she's going to say, or what she's going to do. Okay? We're separate people, and you're not responsible for her feelings, what she does, and we don't care anymore. Okay? The thing is, David, is you're not going to live your life according to what she thinks or how she'll react. Does that make sense? Because what if I told you, yes, David, by you doing something that you want to do for yourself in your life that feels good, guess what? It's going to offer her some supply. So don't do it. You're neglecting yourself. You're denying yourself. And now you are doing things for her. If it just so happens it gives her some supply, who cares? Right? Who cares anymore? Okay? I hope that makes sense. Just like something you do might piss someone off in the world. Let's say every little thing you do will eventually piss off somebody in the world. Right? The fact that you took a left step out of your car instead of a right step might piss off somebody somewhere. You and her are 2 totally different people now. You turn separate ways, you've gone separate ways, and you're living separate lives. If she wants to look and see what you're doing, David, and if somehow something you do benefits her, who cares anymore? Who cares if what you do hurts her? Who cares if what you do benefits her, right? You aren't worried about hurting her. It seems like you're worried about if it benefits her. Who cares, David? You do what you want to do and what feels right for you, okay? I hope I'm clear on that, because this is extremely common situation, extremely common with clients that I'm seeing right away. Not clients I've seen for a while. This is products of just broke up, just in the thick of it, in pain, suffering. David, hey David, if I always take this route to work, right, and my ex doesn't see me take that route to work anymore because I'm going to take this route because I don't want to see them. What if they know that and they think I'm being weak? It's like, who cares what they think anymore? I mean, that goes to show how much we invested in what they thought, how they felt, how much we invested in who they are, and how little we invested in who we are. Now you want to invest in who you are, and it feels funny. Sad. It's sad. You keep doing what you want to do, David, and you keep investing in yourself, expressing yourself, and you don't have to worry about hurting her feelings anymore or offering her any supply. Who cares, right? It's over. You'll never see her or talk to her ever again. I hope I'm clear. Thanks, David, for asking, and please keep asking me more questions. So I'm going to see some here. We've got just a couple questions left. I'll try and get it done. Tracy from Victoria, British Columbia. Hello, Tracy. Why does the narcissist golden child protect the narcissist parent, mother, and deny any abuse has happened? Is it for the inheritance? That sounds like a specific... Well, thank you for your question, Tracy. It sounds like you're asking me specifically someone you know, right? Because I can't... This isn't something that every single child does that does this. They aren't doing it for money. Okay? So someone you know specifically might be doing that for an inheritance. I don't know. But I can tell you that why children do this, or adult children do this emotionally. There's emotional reasons why children do this when they grow up and protect their abuser. Okay? And especially when it's their parents. Try to understand how a narcissist is raised by these parents. These parents instilled in them a value system where all that matters is appearance and status. Okay? That's it. So it doesn't matter how he feels. Doesn't matter. He doesn't even really know who he is. Didn't really get autonomy when he was a child. And so he believes who he is what people see. And he's so ashamed of himself, has such low self-esteem. Problems like this, bad things, he can't own. He can't say, oh yeah, I have a problem. Oh yeah, I had a bad childhood. All of that, he's too sensitive and has too shallow, too thin of an ego that he tries to protect himself with. Anything like that says he's a bad person. He can't handle it. No humility, probably can't ever be vulnerable, can't apologize, things like this. So I don't know if this person in particular is simply waiting for their parents to die and they're going to be loyal to them no matter what because they want their money. But there are emotional reasons that people do this, and it's to protect their own self. It's to protect their image. So much shame that you keep your abuser in your life. So much shame you can't even be vulnerable enough to even tell somebody what happened to you. So much shame you can't even admit to somebody that something was bad or wrong in your life without you saying, I'm a bad person. That's pretty bad. That's real bad. That is a very unstable sense of self. Extremely. Yeah. Extremely codependent, right? Extremely dependent on mom and dad. Believes that he needs these people in his life, he or she, under any circumstances. Who cares how I feel? Who cares about myself? Who cares what they've done to me? Does that make sense? Hope so. Thank you. You know what? My video is going to cut out soon. It keeps doing that right around now. And so I'm just going to save these last couple questions for part 3. And I hope that's not annoying to people. Thank you for being patient with me. I got new equipment. It's being difficult, to say the least. So I'm going to save these last 2 for part 3. Thank you guys. Love yourself first. I made a recommendation in part 1, a book that can help you guys with boundaries. I think it looks like a good one. Go check it out if you're interested. Love yourself first. I'll see you in part 3 soon. Bye.